Yes, I am so excited that I get to follow Richard after that beautiful, just heartfelt. So thank you for putting me right here, Giles. So yes, Mari asked me to do this, and anyone that knows me well knows that I actually don't usually talk a lot about myself personally in the business world, and leave myself out of it quite often. So this is like shock therapy. We're gonna do it because this is part of the new path that I'm on. So I've had some serious changes in my life. Probably the transition side of this conversation is more of where I sit right now, but I'll bring up a screen and we can talk to that. Just a minute. So for most of my career, I've been working really towards the next step. I had a pretty clear path from 2000 to 2021. I started as a media buyer at Disney and moved through my career into connections planning, and then moved into brand strategy, and then ultimately moved into a strategy director role there at Heart+Mind Strategies. But the path was pretty clear. I knew the path forward. I knew what I needed to do to ultimately achieve my goals. And that brought a lot of stability for me, which I love stability. But in 2021, I stepped back from that path, not due to my own control, but more, I had some health issues that really took me out of the path. And I was really forced to change everything about my day-to-day. It quite literally disrupted my entire life, and it was really quite jarring. And during the time that it was all happening, I really felt like there was a lesson that was supposed to be happening. And when I really just sat in the silence and allowed myself to consider what that lesson might be, I really felt the rumble within myself. I just realized that I just wasn't focused on the right things in my life. I wasn't the mom. Sorry. This is why I don't talk about myself. I wasn't the mom I wanted to be. I wasn't the wife I thought I was going to be. I wasn't the friend that I wanted to be. I wasn't living like in the moment. I was always busy, always working, rarely took weekends to just completely detach from the day-to-day of my work life. So when I decided to confront that, there was really no turning back. And it was a really scary time because truly I had a great job. I had a job that probably most people or sane people wouldn't walk away from. And obviously it was here at Heart+Mind with this great group of people. But I had to do it. And so I stepped off that path and really stepped onto what this looks like now, which is I started this new journey. And this journey truly has no financial stability, but has a whole lot of adventure. And in this path, it's not as clear. There is a whole bunch of things that are happening around me, and I'm jumping from one path to the next path. And that's kind of what it looks like now. And so what I feel like now that I'm learning, now 8 months in, is I've really learned a lot. And what I've learned is that that human side of things it's actually the thing. Like it's the thing that actually matters more than perhaps the systems that I thought mattered before, that there was one way to do things and that everyone had their roles. And yes, I always believed in collaboration and am a huge proponent of that. But here's what I've learned 8 months in is that I've learned that listening is really just as, if not more important than knowing. in both my consulting side, which Maury mentioned that I, do brand strategy consulting as well as a lot of moderating. And I've always known that listening is how you get to the core human story, but I've really found out now that listening is really the key thing. And that if I start from that place of that I don't know the story and that I'm learning it, I found that we're actually more alike than we are different, as Richard said. And that has been really important in this new path that I'm on, where I don't have a lot of rules to guide me. As Maury mentioned, I am working with my husband and his brand. I call him my pro bono client because he pays me nothing, but he takes a lot of time. And so in doing work for him, what's been really interesting is I'm on the front lines again, which I just haven't been on the front lines with any of the brands that I've worked with for years because they've been such big companies. And I'm now working for a small company with him. And so I get to hear customer stories. And they're really amazing, like how customers perceive our brand and the stories that they tell us about our products are things that we don't necessarily even know about our brand or our products. And so it's been really important to listen to our customers, and it really has guided our product development decisions and some of our future directions of the company. And so I think that idea of listening before knowing has been really vital in this new path that I'm on and letting that guide us. The second thing I've learned is that I've learned that connecting through the human experience is just as important as my business acumen. And I definitely didn't know that before. I had gotten to a place in my career where I had a certain level of expertise and a certain level of skills that really was guiding me and was the starting point for really anything I worked on. And entering this new world of being a consultant and entering this new world of working for my husband's small business, I actually know very little. I know very little about running a business. I know very little about product development. And so it's been really helpful for me to have that starting point of what I do have is I have who we all are as humans. And so I'm not advanced in what I know, but I have a great story about this brand and about my husband's business. And what that's doing for us is we're getting into a lot of doors that we wouldn't normally get into. We have some great collaborations coming up with Orvis that a small brand like ours should not have an opportunity to deal with a big company like Orvis. But we've found that just by being humans and telling our story and really relating through that way, we have some great brand collaborations coming up, as well as some great manufacturing partners that, again, like we can't afford to work with some of these manufacturing partners we're working with, but they're taking our small brand on because they like us and they want to help us, which is just so amazing and so humbling. And the last thing that I've learned is that I've learned that the complex is actually simple when we start with just the acknowledgement that we don't have all the answers and that we actually need help. And I have really had to come to terms with that in my new role of acknowledging my limits and acknowledging my kind of inadequacies in this new path that I'm on as both a consultant in building my consultancy business and in helping my husband in building his brand. So I'm not sure that I have all the answers yet. I'm not even sure that I'm on the right path yet, but I do know that the transition had to happen and that I'm learning a lot about myself as a human and just learning so much about the connections with other people in this new world that I'm on, and that's really what can solve most problems and get to most solutions. So thanks for including me today.